Philip, how are we?
Oh, very good.
Have you had an eponymous Woody recently? Because you've got one now. Because this is the eponymous Phil and Woody show here on Humbug Radio. And have we got a show lined up for you this morning? Phil, have we?
You're listening to Humbug Radio, and actually, I started to sound a little bit like Tony Blackburn. You can't help it if you're doing.
Is
some
he
of those
Dutch?
Kind of thing. Yeah. Hold on.
Tony Blackburn?
Dutch Tony Blackburn. Hang on. Yeah, actually, my name is also Tony Blackburn from Rotterdam. Yeah, it is also normal in Holland. Yeah, okay. I think it could work.
I've got a question for you.
little,
I've got a question for you. Right. Who's the most famous person that you nearly got to work with but didn't?
Oh, nearly got to work with, or nearly got to meet, really, was David Bowie. I literally was that close, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Why was I going to meet him? Somebody arranged it for... this is before Stella Street and all that stuff. No, because I know he watched it and he quoted one of the lines once, which I found very funny.
How could he do that if it was before Stella Street?
No. Oh, well, no, not then. But I always find that lovely that he did. He found it amusing. He had such a sense of humour. No, I didn't. I didn't get to meet him because I ended up going. I had to go away for a little while to sort myself out.
Oh,
right. I'm not going into details,
no.
but it was at that time, and I've been sorted ever since, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I say sorted, not doing the things I was doing then, basically. No, I missed out on that, and that would have been lovely because I know he was a real mensch, Bowie, apparently, and I knew people he met because I knew Jeff Beck and that, and I used to go to his place and all that sort of stuff. I love name dropping. Mick Jagger told me, he said, never name drop. No, but Bowie was funny guy.
Right,
who is?
I'm going to trump you. I think I'm going to trump you.
You will trump me. I know you will. Because you've been building this for months.
Yes, I have. No. Right,
you
so
rung me
years
in
ago,
January saying I've got this
years and years ago, when I used to be on the telly, I used to be a comedy character, and I was sent to do a red carpet event, which is it was a film premiere. It was The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, and it was in the West End in Leicester Square, and I was there to collar people on their way in or their way out. And so we did them coming in, and then. They go in and watch the film.
Well, Harrison Ford. Sorry to interrupt. Harrison Ford. You saw him coming in.
No, actually, he wasn't there. But wait. Just wait. This is a good one. Just bear with me. Right. So they all go in. They watch the film, and at this point, we're just sort of standing around doing nothing. So there's the researcher, me, and the film crew, and the researchers say, "Right, film crew, you can go off for an hour and have a cup of coffee or something like that." So off they went. So we're standing there lurking around in the cinema in the foyer. Whatever. Clint Eastwood walks out of the door because he'd seen the film already, so he just came out, and the researcher goes up and says, "Oh, Mr. Eastwood, would you mind doing an interview with our guy here?" And he went, "No, that's no problem at all." He said, "You have to be quick though, because I need to be somewhere." So she went, "Right, okay." She introduced us, and I'm standing there talking. I'm dressed up as an idiot, and there's Clint Eastwood and this is back 30 years ago, so he was like tall and suave in his dinner suit.
Could you? I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you please describe what you were wearing, Woody?
Well,
I want to get a picture of the costume.
I was wearing a blue balaclava
Cheese
helmet, Cheese Ranger. Yeah, the Cheese Ranger.
Okay.
Red cagoule. Ankle flapping trousers, tough slip-on shoes, big teeth, glasses.
Oh, you love big teeth, didn't you?
Yeah.
Norman,
and the thing about that is that character used to stink as well, because I used to what I called cheesed up before I went and did anything. So I would rub like Stilton or Roquefort or something like that under my arms before we started.
I love the thoroughness of it,
very, very thorough. There, it didn't break character. So I'm standing there talking to Clint Eastwood as a Cheese Ranger,
looking up
whilst the researcher ran off to get the crew. And so I'm just trying to fill, because I'm like, I'm in awe of Clint Eastwood here. And what I really wanted to say to him is, Clint, can I be in your next film, please?
Yes.
But I couldn't break character. I couldn't break character. I couldn't say, look, I'm a really good actor. Look, I'm not breaking character. Anyway, so she goes off to get the crew, and then she comes back about 2 minutes later and goes, I can't find the crew. And that was it. And he went, I'm really sorry, guys, I'm going to have to go. And he went and he left. And that was like, oh, my God, I could have been... I could have been filming with...
Disappointed, broken,
I missed the interview. And can you imagine that would be on the internet now?
Oh no, getting Clint. Oh no, honestly, that's a different
and that
level.
was just
That's a different level, Woody. That's
it was a
hilarious.
heartbreaker. And then I ended up interviewing Neil Kinnock.
Oh God, I'm John Hurt, and you're listening to Humbug Radio.
And this is the eponymous Phil and Woody show.
I haven't been drinking.
I want to ask you a question about getting old, because you're just that little bit older than me.
Yeah, I am. 4 years or so now.
Yeah. When you passed 60,
Yeah.
do you, and this is a genuine question, do you find that you started blowing off a bit more than you used to?
It's a lovely way of putting it, Woody. Yeah, probably.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because
let's get honest here, and
Yeah.
you know,
I start because my missus has got this and I've only been we've been together for like 4 years now, so this is like a new world to her, the world of me blowing off. But she has to point it out, and it's like I'm becoming paranoid about it. she's got this like superhuman sense of smell for a start. I started going into the garden to do it, and even then she says, I come back in and says, did you just blow off in the garden? I said, how did you know that? You dragged it back in again with you. I was like, I can't become obsessed with it, and I don't know whether it's me or whether it's her, or I don't know what's going on. So you've actually slightly reassured me there. It's age. I've let the old man in.
I suspect it is.
I've let the old man in, and he's coming in a funny route.
Let the old man in. Yeah, you can't help it, Woody, can you? You can't hold the tide back, and it happens.
Well, I don't know whether he can't be bothered anymore.
Do you find that? Do you actually? Are you genuinely? Have you let
sometimes,
go a little bit of?
Well, sometimes but
don't you?
You start to worry about your health, don't you? And I just thought, is this normal?
Yeah.
Is it?
You
not?
do.
Yeah.
You get paranoid.
Because sometimes it's like a morning chorus. Sometimes I get up. I looked it up on the internet. It said you should only blow off 15 times a day, it said. And I thought, crikey, I'll do that before breakfast.
Well, it's refreshingly human.
I'll tell you what's not refreshing where I come from.
Well, let's just say it's human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert Robinson.
Might bring a tear to your eye.
Call my bluff. Down.
Right.
I've got Bobby Charlton comb over. Down. Yeah, Woody. It's David Jones from Beckenham. David Jones from Beckenham.
And how are
you doing,
we
doing good, son?
in the afterlife?
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, it is all right in the afterlife. The only problem is you got people keep bothering you. They keep saying, "Yeah, what's it like in the afterlife, Dave?" I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm trying to have a kip, you know what I mean? Trying to have the eternal sleep. David Bowie. I don't know, I call myself Bowie. I had to change my name because there was another bloke called David Jones, so I had to change my name. I don't know if you've seen me early on. It was quite good. I had some monkeys. I wasn't in the monkeys. I had a pet monkey. I had a pet monkey called Lewis, and he used to wear a suit. He was like a chimpanzee. He'd wear a suit. I wouldn't put shoes on him because that's cruel. Can I go now, please?
I don't know what the bloody hell you're talking about.
Oh, no, as Hancock would say, have you gone stark raving mad? That's a great line. I thought my mother's gravy was bad, but at least it moved about a bit.
Phil, I just want to say that the other day I watched the film on the telly. Do you remember I'm All Right, Jack, with Peter Sellers?
Oh, yes.
What a great film.
Yes. And it had everyone in it.
Sam Kidd, John Comer. Do you remember John Comer? And who was that guy? The tall
Cardew
guy?
Robinson.
Cardew Robinson. Yeah, the cad. Cardew the cad. Which made me... And, of course...
It was, wasn't it?
Terry Thomas. You're an absolute shower in Russian stinker the first one.
No, that's very good. No,
Yeah.
I mean, Terry Thomas stood out in that film.
Well,
for me.
I tell you what interested me about that film is you've got two schools of acting there. You've got the sort of the Peter Sellers, who's just brilliant.
Well, his character, Fred Kite, was...
yes, sir. Yes, Fred Kite.
It was so well observed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was doing something else.
Yeah,
and
then you've got the other...
real.
Yeah, you've got the other characters in there, like Irene Handel, like Terry Thomas in particular.
Fraser.
Liz Fraser always played the same character.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't get that in the cinema nowadays, not in British films or any films, I don't think, where you'd get people who just specialised. You know, Terry Thomas did brilliant character, but it was just one note. You know where I'm going?
It was, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was funny. That just. It's just the way he said that. It was genius. But yeah, you're right. You don't see that nowadays.
And the sort of do you remember Wilfred Hyde White just came on to films and did
Wilfred
Hyde White.
Yes, he was
Charles
very
Hawtrey.
Oh,
hello. Because he just did Charles
That's what
Hawtrey.
he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Arthur Mullard. Yes, my dear. Do you remember Arthur Mullard?
Arthur Mullard,
yes, my
yeah,
dear.
right, yeah,
Yes,
my dear.
Yes, my dear, yeah.
Who
Was
else?
that Hilda Baker? Yes, my dear.
Hilda Baker.
Yeah. But they all did one note, just the one thing, and you don't get that anymore. I don't know what would happen to you now if you just did one character. It's lost art.
A lost art. And
lazy, but lost.
But Sellers was on a different level because he could transform himself into the Fred Kite.
Alec Guinness,
he said the union have decided democratically. He had that sort of
sibilant S. Yes.
And when he was drunk, he was going, "Yeah, I know. Windrush resigns on the grounds of ill health." It was just genius.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Alec Guinness was another one. He used to do lots.
Yes,
very studied. Brilliant.
He did. He was known for it. No, now I don't know who you would have. Yeah,
there isn't anybody. There's nobody to take the place of all those characters. Gone forever.
It is a wonderful film, Woody, of a lost sort of age, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know, quite pertinent in some ways as well. But yeah.
It was ahead of its time. That was.
I guess it was. It was big. I think it went down very well. I think it was one. Big
Ian
movie.
Carmichael was a sort of.
He was funny, wasn't he?
He was a bit in between, wasn't he? Because
he
could, and I mean that in a nice way. He
pleasant sort of character.
He tried to be.
He wouldn't offend you, would he?
He tried to make an effort to play different characters, but it always was Ian Carmichael.
He did really well. He was in so many things.
Yeah.
And Sam Kidd. Interestingly, I got to work with his son a lot.
Oh, he wrote a book about Sam Kidd, didn't he?
Did he write a book about his dad?
Yeah.
Now, I believe he had the record for appearing in the most films. I think it might have Guinness Book of Records. Sam Kidd has appeared in more films than any other actor, which I can believe. Again, he's always the cabbie, isn't
those he? Regular, used to... the fact that we know an extra... that was the extras were known in those days. They were
David
famous.
Lodge.
David Lodge. I think he
friend
was in
of Sellers.
It. He was in it as well, wasn't he?
Sellers. I think Jobs for the Boys in a way. I think if Sellers was in it, he probably got David Lodge and Graham Stark as well. Graham Stark.
Yeah.
But there you go. And
well, it's maybe it'll come back again one day. You never know.
In another universe, I suspect.
Yeah.
Radio is a powerful selling medium, a playground for the imagination where every jingle and slogan can find its way into the hearts and minds of its listeners. And advertising on Humbug Radio is a lot more cost-effective than you might think. We can help your business to shine bright without dimming your budget. To learn more, email us studio@humbugradio.com.
You're listening to Humbug Radio and the eponymous Phil and Woody Show. Now, Philip, we do talk about the old days quite a lot.
What makes crisps would have the bag of salt?
Golden Wonder.
No. Smith's. Maybe Golden Wonder did, but I'm remembering this as a Smith's crisp because you only had to. Oh, sorry, I've come off mic. I got very excited there. Great subject, actually. You only had Smith's crisps, a Golden Wonder. In fact,
you only had two flavours. You had 3 flavours.
I just remember when it was crisp. Smith's.
I remember when you had plain crisps, ready salted, and then then you had cheese and onion. And then I remember at some point
third
was salt and vinegar. I remember salt. You're going to say prawn cocktail.
I was going to say Bovril.
Chicken.
No, Bovril. That's way later.
Yeah, those were all
roast
later.
chicken. No,
I remember roast chicken.
Salt and vinegar was good. It was a novelty.
Yeah.
Like, salt and vinegar, Chris.
Yeah, that was new.
Golden
that was something
Wonder.
new and exciting when we were young.
Blue packet, Golden Wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the cheese and onion was...
Yeah.
Crisp are great, weren't they?
Yeah.
No, honestly, all those things and those, amazing.
I wasn't big on the sweets because we had, funnily enough, we had a sweetie shop in the pub. We had like an off license, and you could go and buy Christmas sweets and cigarettes and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and because
how fun you live with it.
I had access to as many sweeties and chocolate bars as I wanted.
So
wasn't that interested?
You were, how funny that's.
Yeah, it was
psychology
like
of that.
Same as living in a pub. It was the same with drinking. When I was a teenager and everyone wanted to go out for a drink.
Yeah,
they all used to drink like 2 pints and get drunk. And for me, I lived in a pub and I was drinking beer from the age of about, actually I shouldn't say this because it makes my parents sound awful, but I was drinking from about, I don't know, 14, they give me a pint of shandy and I'd probably neck down 4 or 5 pints of shandy a night. So when I went out the weekend and they were all getting excited and having a beer, for me it was like being at home. You can't use that, can you?
Those were the days.
I said to the producer.
Some more of that, what's that stuff called that we have on the show?
Rubbish. Right, you're listening to Humbug Radio and the eponymous Phil and Woody show, and you'll never guess who's popped in. Oh, it's Michael Caine.
Yeah, I know the door was open, but I thought I'd knock anyway.
What did you come to tell us,
It was
Mike?
ajar, the door. Yeah, Woody, nice to see you. Now, I want to tell you, get straight to the point, you can listen to Humbug Radio, right, on an app. Get it on an app.
Yeah.
Get it on an app. Why wouldn't you do that, right? You can get it from the Apple Store or
No,
Android.
you can't get it from the Apple Store.
No, you can't get it on Apple, can't you?
No, the Apple Store's where you go and have your phone menu.
Oh no, that's just
Yeah, you get it on Apple and Android.
Apple and Android.
Yeah.
Start again. Ready?
No, I've got to lead up to that. Hang on a minute.
Do the intro.
Hold on. Right, you're listening to Humbug Radio and the eponymous Phil and Woody show, and hey, you'll never guess who's at the door. It's Michael Caine.
Hello, Woody.
Michael, lovely to
Oh
see
dear, sorry about that.
What have you come to tell me?
I was laughing. I just got me golf slacks.
Oh,
I got the turn-up caught in the door. No, I am going to do it.
Yeah.
I've come to tell you something important about the Humbug Radio. You can get the app, right? I want you to get the app.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want you to. You can if you want.
You can get it on an app.
Yeah. Do you want to know where you can get it from?
Yeah.
Right. Apple and Android, right?
Oh, yeah. You can get it on an Apple phone. You can get it on an Android phone.
Don't matter.
It on your laptop
Yeah,
phone.
you get it on your laptop. Absolutely. You can go on the app. You can also do it through Alexa. It's amazing you can do that. All you've got to say to Alexa is, Alexa, could you please put on Humbug Radio?
So what you're saying is that no matter where you are,
Oh, yes.
you can't escape.
No.
No.
Literally. There is no escape.
I'll tell you what.
Can I tell you what I've noticed? Though?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, go on. No, go on.
What I've noticed is the let's call it the degrading of the organism that I inhabit. And
I'll just say that Phil's now getting undressed.
I am. Well, I'm just rolling my sleeve up here. What I've noticed is that the flesh, it's much looser now. There's less elasticity to it.
Elasticity.
And you can see it before your very eyes. How you what's the word? We use the word decay, which is not a great word.
No.
But that's what we do. We're, from the moment we're born, actually, we're heading. It's from the womb. What is it? From doom and gloom, from the womb to the tomb.
Yeah,
it's a good expression, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're not here long, Woody.
No,
Carry on, mate.
Well, I was just going to say elasticity.
Well, it's easy for you to say.
Elasticity is the thing. See, I know that I've got what looks like a big fat stomach here, but it isn't. That's not it. That's the elasticity's gone on the inside as well. That's my lungs. That's all of my organs have all dropped down to the middle.
They're more centralised now. They're in one
Well,
sort of
I
area.
suppose so. Yeah.
Well, that's probably quite handy. It's cruel. It's very cruel. You know, when you see yourself, clips of yourself, from TV stuff from years ago and all that. It's really cruel. I saw a clip on YouTube of me doing this thing called Something Else on BBC Two in 1980. One of the first TV things I did. And my face, I was so fresh-faced, and there was no lines on there, and it. And I just thought how cruel it is. How cruel it is. But that is the deal.
No.
That's the deal.
It's a privilege getting old.
Yeah, I think you should look at it like that.
Yeah,
you particularly.
Exactly.
No, I don't mean you. I'm pointing at you now. But I think that's the thing. Embrace it. Embrace that whole idea of it. What are you going to do about it?
Right, nothing. And I want to know from the listeners, and this is like a phone-in. Okay, so if you want to tell us if you've got any parts of your body that look like something else, then let us know. You can, in fact, get in contact with us at studio@humbugradio.com. If you want to write in, don't complain.
Dive into vinyl heaven at Flashback Records, your go-to destination for rare collectible vinyl, featuring many of those sought-after first pressings and hard-to-find early releases. You can sell us your own vinyl records or your old CDs and DVDs, or you can browse the very latest contemporary vinyl. Explore our online store now at flashback.co.uk. Flashback Records, recycling music since 1997.
How long have we been working together, Phil?
Oh,
because I remember you
about a week.
Yes, but I remember you when you used to be on the telly as Gilbert the Alien.
I know, mate.
On what was that on? Get Fresh.
That was Get Fresh
Yes.
initially, because of course that grew. Yeah, Woody, because I think that was the first time I actually came across you. Oh God! And of course, there you are laughing like I'm,
Well, I remember it now.
I don't need to. Yeah. Oh look, he's here all week. Here we are. I love it. Dirty little monkey, aren't you? Look. Yeah. No. What was I saying? No, it was on. Would it have been number 73, mate?
Me? No.
Yeah, you. No. You told me you weren't on.
I was on
that?
number 73, but I was a guest on number 73.
Oh, okay, sorry, you've already told me that.
And then you and I did Saturday Morning on Wow. But Gilbert the Alien, I remember that when I was a little kid watching you on. Only joking. When I was, I don't know, I must have been a student or whatever. When was that? Get Fresh.
Well, Get Fresh was 87 and 88.
Yeah,
the first series was 87.
I remember you and Andrew O'Connor. Do you remember Andrew O'Connor?
Yes, of course,
Andrew
Andrew O'Connor.
Impressionist.
Yes,
and you and him were, and Gilbert.
We had a little match-up, didn't we?
It was one of the funniest things I've seen on the telly.
I haven't seen that
for
years.
To this day.
Well,
Gilbert the Alien.
Well, the thing about it, Woody, the brief of it, I mean, it was an extraordinary thing to end up doing, and it was absolutely perfect for me personally at that time in my
I should just explain
career.
to the listeners that Gilbert the Alien was a puppet.
Yeah, you should probably explain actually. Yeah, because
he was a snot. He had snot coming out of his nose. It was an anarchic, naughty Saturday morning. The bit that was put in for the students on Saturday morning TV. Gilbert the Alien, and that was you, wasn't it? It was your voice.
Yeah, like the third presenter. Well, that was the theory of it. But the puppet itself, I went in for the job. To see Michael Forte, who's the producer. He'd seen me at the Comedy Store or something like that, and he'd interviewed. He'd seen a few people. Arthur Smith was seen for it, and people like that. I just remember that's one name that pops up. And I went down there, and he chatted about it, and the brief was it's an alien from outer space who's influenced by television, basically. So it was like, well, hey, great. And he comes out in different voices, and so it was perfect for me at that time. And then the puppet itself was made by Fluck and Law, who were Spitting Image, of course, at the time, and so it was a real proper puppet with a presence, Woody. It was huge. It was big. It was really big, and they used Ringo Starr's lip mould. Fluck and Law's Ringo Starr lip mould for his mouth, of Spitting Image, and KY jelly coming out of the nose, snot, and that was the deal. It was green. It was this green colour with these red lips.
And you never used to seem to have a script.
No, I didn't. Gaz as he was then, and Charlotte would have a script, all the links, you know what it's like doing live TV, mate, Saturday morning. Yeah. And I would be in there just sort of, trying to just trying to, what's the word, just to sort of activate, what's the word? Can't remember the bloody word.
Improvise?
Yeah, improvise, yes, but generally poke people, just, try and stop them doing their job.
Yeah. Be a nuisance.
But I wouldn't shut up. I mean, that's the thing. When I see it back, some of it's like, oh, give it a rest. Let someone speak. I'm going, yes. And it was, what was great, though, is it was just I could do all these different voices, and it was fine. And I would get a little word in my ear occasionally, because I'd obviously be, I'd have an earpiece and a monitor in front of me underneath the sort of desk where they were presenting from, or whatever, the sofa. And I would get sort of my metaphorically hand slapped occasionally, just for some of the language. I didn't even realise I was saying it. It was on kids' TV. I didn't realise it was Tourette's. It was quite a Tourette's thing.
I mean, risky.
Sorry,
what are you saying? I was going
to
to say, would you do a little something for me? Can Gilbert, just for old time's sake, can he introduce some music for us?
Yes, it's Gilbert the Alien here, and I music.
Oh, that takes me back to the 1980s.
My name is Michael Caine, and you are listening to the eponymous Phil and Woody show on Humbug Radio.
Oh, Phil.
Yes, Woody. How you doing? What you got? What you got for me, man? What you got?
I tell you what I wanted to talk about. So I was in my office the other day, and I walked in, and I blew my nose. And they started laughing at me because I was using a hanky. Okay. And they said, who uses a hanky these days? And I thought, well, it's none of your... what's wrong with a hanky? It's like I was some sort of alien had walked in. Like a dinosaur with my hanky. Do you have a hanky?
No.
Have you not?
I don't. No, I don't. But you're right to bring.
It's an age thing.
To bring that up.
It's an age thing. And I thought you're discriminating against my age.
Woody, it was all about hankies, wasn't it? In the old days, it was all about having a hanky.
Yeah.
My mum would say, "Have you got your hanky?
Well,
have you got your hanky?"
This particular hanky and I've got it in my pocket now, and I'm now going to take it out and show it to you. My mum gave me that in the 1970s. It's got a little
hang on, mate. Let's have a look. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that from your mother?
It is, and I've got another one that has an S on it.
Would you like to describe it to the listeners? Or
Well,
is
it's
it
just
worth it?
No, not really.
Not really.
It's just a hanky, but I like
think
a
it might
hanky.
be.
I always keep a hanky in my pocket along with my penknife.
Sentimental value, Woody? It's from your mother.
No, it's for blowing my nose on. I
You
always have like a
heartless
cat.
Because your mum gave it to you.
It's a
What's
bit
the
of
matter
my
with you?
It's a bit of me old mum in my pocket.
No, isn't that funny? So you've got a hanky, Woody. What's the
I've got a
matter with
hanky.
you?
Am I
what's
the
your
only one? That
Yes,
has a
you
hanky?
are.
Oh. What about a catapult? I've got a catapult in my pocket as well.
Oh, catapult! Oh dear. Oh no,
No, but
that's
it's
lovely,
true though.
mate.
Why is it?
No, I'm sure
I
it's
think
true.
I'm saving
sure.
the planet with my hanky, because if you think I've had that in my pocket, I've washed
Yeah,
it.
yeah, good point.
I've got
Good
another
point.
hanky as well, so I washed them and all. That's been in my pocket since the 1970s.
Oh, have you got like a roster of hankies or just two?
No, I've got about 3.
Well, you could call that a roster.
What? Yeah.
So you rotate.
I rotate my hankies.
No, there's nothing funny about that.
No,
I'm just
well,
asking you a straightforward question.
Well, I
so
do
you've got
rotate
the 3.
them. Of course I do.
Would you
Imagine if
ever-
it had been in my pocket for 50 years and I hadn't washed it.
Well, the one you just pulled out there looks suspiciously like it hadn't seen the inside of a washing machine since the 1970s. But I might be wrong.
It's got stains on it.
I bet it has. No, but anyway, sentimental stains.
Sentimental, but think how many trees that I've saved.
No, very true.
Because all those tissues, I reckon,
on.
I've worked it out, that would be a forest the size of Wales.
Seriously?
Yeah, that I've saved.
What, since that time? That 50
Since
years of nose blowing
not
and-
using tissues.
Of not using tissues.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'd use tissues
think
for
you
other
need
things,
to-
but that would be unsavoury if I went into the office.
For wiping errant stains off Formica tops, shall we say, something like that.
Yeah.
The thing, okay, it's all good, all well and good. You're using a hanky, save the environment and all that. But do you really? What's it made of, mate? The hanky, you know.
What
Talk
now?
to me about it.
Now it's mostly made up of bogies.
No, come on.
I don't know,
It's
made
wool.
out of
Is it
cotton.
wool? Not
Wool.
wool.
Who had a wool hanky?
I don't mean that. I think I mean cotton.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course it's cotton. Egyptian cotton.
Egyptian cotton?
Only the
From
finest.
Egypt?
Yeah, 900.
Egyptian cotton?
I don't know.
You're
what it
making
is.
that up.
It's
That's just a
hanky.
That's apocryphal.
Can you not even buy hankies anymore?
Yes, you can. You could probably get them in John Lewis's
Yeah.
and other department stores
Yeah.
that are like it,
Yeah.
but not called John
I've had
Lewis.
that hanky for so long. It used to be a sheet when I was little.
Stands up on its own, lad, that one, doesn't it? Used to be a sheet when I was little. I missed that gag, so I was too
yeah,
busy making
yeah.
a gag myself,
Oh,
which
I'm
will bring the government down.
I'm quick. Right, hankies. Love them or loathe them?
Do you know, you're listening to the eponymous Phil and Woody show on Humbug Radio. Thank you very much. I was thinking back, Woody, about the old bedroom that I grew up in, and in fact, I can see the wallpaper now. It was sporting wallpaper. It was pictures of.
Wouldn't you like to go back there now? Just for a night?
Yeah, the bed. The bed was a bit narrow. I remember that, but it's all right when you're little. But I do remember the sporting wallpaper that we got. Special wallpaper, football on there, rugby, someone playing hockey. Anyway, things on your wall. As a child, things that you'd have on the wall. And I remember. I wasn't a child though. I suppose I was a sort of adolescent. I had a James Dean mirror.
A what?
James.
What, where you look at it and you look like James Dean?
No, yeah,
Smouldering.
because in those days, you remember you could buy those mirrors that were just, you'd have the
with something painted on it.
Yeah, kind of. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know about painted, but on there, affixed an image.
No,
that was a thing. Wasn't it? Having mirrors. Yeah, it was. You get Marilyn Monroe ones and all that, I guess. Yeah. But I had a Jimmy Dean one because I had this thing about Jimmy Dean. So I just think, live fast, die young, all that kind of thing. And, so I had that. But one thing I always remember is a cardboard colour print photo of the Spurs team that I got from Thai food tea. If you collected enough tops of the Thai food, the packet of tea, you send them off coupons. And Spurs wore these navy blue socks with white tops, which I love that kit, and the blue socks. And they were standing with the arms folded. You know the team picture, the classic team picture. Yeah. And the characters on there. Just wonder you could get the whole series on the Thai food tea. And what about you?
Well, I did. I now you mention it, I remember. And again,
what you had on your wall.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
go on.
Again, I was a teenager at the time, and I just started getting into like arty things, art stuff, and I as most teenagers did, there was an artist called Roy Lichtenstein that used to do. He was a pop artist, like Andy Warhol, and he took little bits of classic kind of cartoons out of comic strip stuff, really, and blew them up really big. So you go into an art gallery and you'd have 20 foot by 20 foot fighter jet with a big explosion, like a sort of Batman bang on it. And I thought, I've got to have one of those on my wall. So I painted my wall out, and I like a graffiti, really. I was an early Banksy, thinking about it, and I painted it. You
painted it.
I painted it myself, yeah. So I drew. It was a picture of a woman, and thinking back on it, it's almost kind of cringy. It was like a head and shoulders of a blonde woman on the phone, and there was a speech bubble, and it said, "But Woody, you said tonight, sob." And this was right the way across. What must my mum, my poor old mum, she must have thought that was...
Yeah, there is
my
that.
Sisters, they must have laughed.
There is that.
What a prat.
What a prat. No, that is so... Oh, my God. But you said Woody. Woody, but you said tonight.
Yeah. Well, Phil, you'll never guess what. We've come to the end of our time, and I'm not talking about death.
No, not that, not yet.
The show's come to an end.
Oh, God,
have you enjoyed yourself?
I'm so sorry, mate. It was great. I'm just sorry you lost your temper.
Well...
But you seem all right now.
Yeah, it's lovely to see.
No, it was great. I really enjoyed some of that stuff you were doing.
Yes. Well, shall we do it again another time?
Why don't we?
Well, let's say goodbye.
Let's make a date. Bye.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to the eponymous Phil and Woody Show on Humbug Radio. It was a Bleach production.